right, welcome to geometry. And of course, my screen has gone all black, which is a problem. Give me a second, hold on a second. And we're back from outer space. Oh, sorry, you didn't see that. Didn't realize it was on. All right, so geometry 101, here we go. So here's what's gonna happen. You should have on your Schoology page the resources that you see on this screen. And this will have, and I'll go through this in a little bit and what you're expected to do. You will also have this, pow! Beautiful textbook at home with you for the year. Also, I will try to remember to post these pages on your Chromebook as well. And here we go. So the first thing I'm going to tell you about geometry, I should have done that earlier, is it's not quite as challenging as you might think if you're used to algebra. It's a lot more visual, spatial thinking, and you're going to be talking a lot about how to think, way to prove and deduce things. Is it inductive reasoning? Is it deductive reasoning? And so in geometry, it may not seem intuitively that challenging, but it's still logic that needs to be learned. And there are actually some really cool things in this as well. I love the section on vectors, it's so cool. And this course will also give you an introduction into trigonometry. Not all the trig you need for calculus, however, it's a beginning. So let's get started. Here's how it's gonna work. You're going to pull up your Schoology page during your normal math time. And I'm going to have a beautiful video explaining what we're going to be doing, or what you're going to be doing, for your day. Then, if you have questions, we'll talk during our small group pull out. Now, the first page of each section is typically a little quiz going over what you learned the day before. In this case, we didn't learn anything the day before, or maybe you did, I just don't know about it. So we just have a run-of-the-mill warm-up, where you're being asked to graph each inequality on a number line. Then if you look at the next page, it looks shockingly familiar to the other page. But a couple things I do want to talk about here. You'll notice that on this page you'll have the objective for each lesson. So this is what you're supposed to be learning today. Now, obviously, identifying, naming, and drawing lines, points, segments, rays, and planes. Not the most challenging thing you've ever done in your life, but enjoy the fun. And the unit title is going to be written right here as well. So you should always know what the purpose of the lesson is. And today, obviously, we're understanding points, lines, and planes. Then, this will normally be a different page, but whatever, we'll move on. You're going to be spending a lot of time talking about definitions, theorems, postulates. Oh, there's one more. Theorems. Oh, conjectures. Oh, I forget. We'll get there eventually, right? And so it's going to be really helpful to have a place in your notebook where you keep a running tab of definitions, theorems, postulates, conjectures, and all that fun stuff. So you're going to have a vocab page if there's a lot of vocab. Sometimes it's put on that first page. Then, oh, well, look, we have some postulates. In this case, we have 5 postulates. Now, this 1-1-1 just means chapter 1, section 1, first postulates. Now, that only works for this textbook. So if you go to someone else who's taking geometry and go, hey, what did you think about postulate 1-1-3? They're going to look at you like, huh? What are you talking about? Well, here's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be using this beautiful book. And look at that. There's some postulates. Oh, look, they're right here. Postulates. And so each postulate will have its own sort of name that's in there. So you're going to take the postulates from the book, put them here, because we're going to be using them throughout the year. And sometimes you have to come back to ones you saw 6 months ago to prove a problem. So being able to reference postulates and really theorems, that's going to be super helpful later on. All right, so then, here we have 4 examples. Now, these 4 examples will correspond with the 4 examples in the book. So we have example 1, example 2 right here, example 3 at the bottom of the page. And I bet if I turn this page, I'll find example 4. And I do! All right, so the examples that I have here are not the same examples that are in the book. So the purpose of this is, I would like you to read through the examples here, then read the examples here, and then do these problems. That way, we can see if we understand the examples that are talked about in the book. Now, most of the times, probably not in this introductory video, however, I will be talking about these problems and solving them as well to help you understand the concepts that are going to be talked about in this unit. Now, clearly today we're talking about understanding points, lines, and planes. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing. I trust you're going to be okay with this if I don't give a more substantial video today. So once you're done with this activity here, you go on to, oh look, here's the next day's activity. Don't do that, wait for tomorrow. But you can see that in this little quiz part, you are going to be answering questions that you had earlier. Now, when it comes to homework, your homework is going to be listed down on the bottom of this grade page here. Now, I have a book assignment and your assignment. Now, the book assignment I've listed so that you know what the makers of this curriculum think you should be doing for homework. You will notice that your assignment is significantly shorter than the book assignment. So that way you can think, oh my goodness, Mr. Franke is such a benevolent overlord. I love him so much. So if there are ever any questions, you're looking at your assignment, not the book assignment. Does that make sense? So once you feel good about your examples, then you move on to these right here. Make sure you always watch the explanation videos. This one isn't the most thorough. Maybe we'll do a second one after that. All right. Hopefully that explains what you're going to be doing for geometry in practice this year. And I will see you this afternoon at McWilliams. I can't wait to get out of the school building. Oh my goodness. And I bet you can't wait to get offline too. So I'll see you then until 2:15. I'll talk to you later. See if I can remember how to